Thanks again everyone for coming. It's starting to get cold in Sydney at this time of year, so we do appreciate your coming out. The formal part of the evening tonight, I will just begin by thanking our sponsors. Nuance, of course, voice recognition. Russell's here tonight. He's been with us for the last few sessions, very kindly giving his time to help Dragonology. And tonight we've got some great prizes from partners Olympus, Philips and Sennheiser. So thank you to all of them for helping us tonight. The session tonight will take about an hour. I'll give you a few update points before I introduce you to the hero of the night, which is Russell, who's going to give us a quick presentation on mastering Dragon in 3 steps. So the basic idea is he'll go through some of the common pitfalls that Dragon users have, give you some tips and tricks on how you can take the most out of Dragon, and then after that we'll have a question and answer period. So we'll try and address the general questions that we always get. Hopefully many of your questions that you've sent in already tonight will be answered by the time we get to that part of the night, but if not, we'll try and address them. Please bear with us. If you do have something that's very particular to your situation, we'll try and take that offline, but otherwise we'll try and get through as many questions as we can. After that, we've got the Dragon Draw, where we'll be giving away some of those great prizes from those sponsors we mentioned. So there's a whole process that's going to go around and support that, but it's fantastic what they've organised, and we've got more prizes tonight than we've ever had before. So please stay for that. And then finally, there is food at the end. I'm always told, Marty asked me to say there is food at the end of the evening. So please stay with us. We've got catering from what used to be Rockpool. They've got a new name now, which none of us can remember, but it's good. It sounds really good. So please stay and enjoy the food and have some more beer or wine afterwards as well. So far so good. Toilets are out the back there, restrooms, whatever you want to call them. I don't think I have to tell you anything else there. So let me begin by just giving you a quick update on a few things. We were a little bit late for Melbourne 10 days ago. The day after we had the Melbourne Dragonology, Nuance announced some new products. And this is the long-awaited version 15 of Dragon Pro Group. I don't know that any of you in the audience will have that. Hands up if you have. Oh, a few. That's great. Thank you very much. So the enterprise version of Dragon has finally been updated to have the latest artificial intelligence machine learning aspect incorporated into it, and that's now available to enterprise customers under their maintenance and support agreements. Along with that, we also announced the Dragon Legal Australian updates for those of you that are in the legal profession, and we're going to follow, we tried to keep it simple here in that we had one Dragon Legal Australian product. That just confused everyone. It confused people that were buying Dragon. It confused our partners. We're going to follow what the US is doing, which is they're having a Dragon Legal individual and a Dragon Legal group, just the same as we do in the other products. So more on that later. As I said, Dragon Pro Group is available now. Dragon Legal Australian will be available next month. So a little bit of a wait for Dragon Legal, but it's coming very soon. Now, before we go in, before we go to Russell's presentation, does anybody know what that is? Yes? What is it? It's a message pad. So what I thought, well, this is what I was doing 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, I'd just come back to Australia. I'd been overseas for 6 years, and I was working with a small part of Apple that was doing really leading edge stuff with radio, what we call wireless these days, but basically distributed database systems. You could actually enter some data into your message pad. It would synchronize with the cloud. It wasn't called the cloud in those days, of course, if you were connected. But if you weren't, it would save it up and do it later. And so that was pretty clumsy. The Newton copped a lot of flack at the time for not doing handwriting recognition really well. But by the time this device came along, it actually worked really well indeed. And it was going fantastically well. And of course, 20 years later, we have this as its successor. It's a lot smaller, it's a lot faster, the screen is a hell of a lot better and actually in colour, but that's where this was 20 years ago. So you can think of the Newton as the precursor for this device. And that was 20 years ago in March. Just a few weeks ago we celebrated the anniversary. Guess what else is 20 years old? So just 1 month later, 20 years ago, Dragon Naturally Speaking was launched in 1997. Dragon Naturally Speaking wasn't the first Dragon product. Many of you will talk about Dragon Dictate, which is still the most common brand that we have out there. Everybody talks about Dragon Dictate, but Dragon Dictate required that you speak like this to understand what you said. Dragon, naturally speaking, on the other hand, was the world's first affordable way of actually working with people who spoke who spoke continuously, as in a natural language. So think about where the message pad has come to the smartphone. Think about where Dragon was 20 years ago to where it is today. And the differences are much the same. It has made amazing progress in the last 20 years. So we celebrated that in Melbourne last week. We had an Australian veteran, Wayne Doyle, who some of you might know from Voice Perfect days a long time ago. Wayne was at our Melbourne event, and he brought along some of his dragons. He has a dragon collection. So these were the original red dragons, which still had the red colour, because that's sort of in Asia, that symbolises long life and wealth and all the rest of it. But over the years, we've come a long way. So just to mark the fact that we've done 20 years of Dragon, and hopefully we'll have 20 more years to go.